This episode of the Workationing Podcast is brought to you by Trusted House Sitters. You can catch them at trustedhousesitters.com or via their new app. Ashley and I both use Trusted House Sitters to source pet sitters for our fur babies when we're away from home.
You can use discount code WORKATIONING10 for 10% off your annual plan. That's Workationing plus the number 10, no space, to save 10% off your membership. You can also get the link directly in the show notes for the episode. In a time and place when you can ring in the new year anywhere,
Two ladies in their mid to late 27s have decided to.
we're now fussing up to our mid to late 33s.
Ashley has a brain tumor scare.
And Kari's single again.
There are New Year's resolutions and an upcoming trip to Belgium.
Plus a housewarming party that's probably going to turn into a disaster.
This is the Workationing Podcast. Got the mic plugged in this time.
Oh,
You can't get anything by me.
no, it was a close one once again.
That's a wily fucker.
It really is. And you even thought it was in. I was like, I see metal. Push that bitch in.
It's not done yet.
That's what she said. Push it in.
We are in and recording. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year, babe.
Right? 2020.
It's already off to an interesting start.
I'll give you that. I will give you that.
And we are coming in live again from Kari's bed. This is where we are podcasting for you guys now, and it's quite comfy.
This is where the magic happens.
Yeah, so much magic.
You asked before you got into bed. You were like, how much magic has been in these sheets? Like, they're good. They're good.
Yeah, I hope so.
It's a new decade, although I'm told that the new decade doesn't actually start until 2021.
Well, that would make sense, but I mean, everyone is on board with this, posting those pictures of how I looked 10 years ago or whatever, and most people actually look better now.
A glow up,
Yeah.
they call that. But also, I hear that it was like the NSA who's honing their facial recognition software.
Oh, great.
And using Facebook for that. So if you posted, here's me 10 years ago and here's me now, know that you have done your part to contribute to society.
I didn't do that. So,
I didn't do it either.
hands up. Not me.
I don't play those games. I'm actually pretty quiet on social media, unless I'm talking about businessy stuff, I think.
That's true.
That's weird. I like to keep it kind of locked down. Not like too locked down, but nobody wants to see anybody dump their purse over on Facebook.
I share some weird shit. You know what I hate? Well, it's taught me some lessons, is that time hop that will be like, 10 years ago, you posted this. And I'm like, face plant, like palm facing every time. I'm like, why did I say that? Why do I make announcements that make no sense whatsoever? I'm like, and like, I'll look and I'll be like, nobody hearted it, nobody commented, because it makes nobody cares. I'm like, I don't feel good. It's raining in Taiwan. Huh. And it's like, why?
Well, I'm so old. When I got on Facebook, it was still like Kari is ... And so you'd start off your post with a not complete sentence.
Me too.
And when you see those now, and this is what you said 10 years ago, you're just like, God, that sounds self-absorbed and very assholey.
Oh, so bad. And it just makes no sense. And why do I think people cared how I was feeling? Like, I'm tired. I'm hungry. I should go get food. Like, I would just report everything. I'm so glad I don't do that now. I kind of spill some photos. I'll get a little personal. I'll get a little political, but I've calmed that shit down. You're welcome, world.
Oh, my favorite thing that you posted recently was that
God.
video of your dad when you were home for Christmas.
Oh, it was so funny. Basically, I went out. I was home for Christmas, and I walk outside to my father, who is wearing these, like, old-ass sweatpants, a collared green shirt, and a gray hoodie that doesn't zip, so he had, like, one of those huge file clips holding it together, and he's attempting to chop wood. And, honey, these aren't logs. They're, like, kindling that he's trying to split in half and fail. And he did, like, he kicks this bucket over for no reason, closes a door, no reason, swings with all of his little might, and just misses and does, like, a pirouette out of it. And I died. I am laughing so hard. It got so many reactions on social media. And at the end, he's like, you better not post this on social media. I'm like, I'm totally doing this. And it's awesome. But then we went to an axe throwing bar and he redeemed himself. So wonderfully. He threw the axe and he hit a bullseye on the first one. And so I posted that and people were like, okay, axe man.
Kelly and I went axe throwing in Montreal. And I couldn't get it to stick into the wood to save my life.
What? How? There's one here. We should go. I'm quite good.
No, Kelly was like deadly with that thing.
Yeah.
Give Kelly an axe, and you can have like a 50-yard head start, and she will just pick you off with a kill shot.
Yeah. Well, let's go. Because I learned some moves I would like to show off. Not going to lie. Not really good at things all the time, and I'm kind of good at this.
So you spent your holidays in, where's your family from?
In Jackson, Michigan, home of the largest walled prison. Whoop, whoop. Yeah, I had a not
Wait, I'm sorry.
holiday.
Did you just say the largest
walled prison? Mm-hmm.
Like prison with walls?
Yeah. I don't know why they call it that, but yeah, it's the largest prison in the States. And like Jack Kevorkian is there. So I actually drove by it in this trip and waved Merry Christmas to the prisoners. Not on purpose, but I did. It's interesting.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's what we're known for. We could have chosen U of M. Or the prison, and we got the choice, and those fuckers chose the prison. So, whatever. But yeah, I was home, and it wasn't fun. It wasn't fun at all.
You're saying that with such a smile on your face and voice.
Yeah. Well, so first of all, I got a dog with my boyfriend who I lived with in New York when I was 24. And when I moved abroad, I left him with my parents, and he since became my dad's best friend. He was the sweetest dog. But I got a call like 4 days before I was going to fly home that he was really, really sick and they needed to put him down. So thankfully, he waited for me and I got home and I like slept on the couch with him and we had to put him down the next day. And I don't know if you've ever had to fucking do that. But girl, it is tough.
No.
Just like I was just like holding him, my parents and I, while he died. It was so horrible and really emotional. And I've never seen my dad cry so much. Both of my parents. It was just awful. And now I have a dog here. So I'm like, great. Now I have to do this again. Like after this, I swear no more animals. My heart can't handle it. I just can't. Some people can. It was so painful. So that was awful. And then I ended up in the emergency room because I thought I was having a brain tumor. So
tell the people about that because that's an interesting story and I would have freaked out too.
Yeah. So, okay. I would like to just preface this that I've been to the ER in almost every country I've ever been in. True. And but 90, it's bad. Like I could write a book of hospital reviews around the world, but 90% of the time I am admitted for over a week. So I'm not over here crying wolf. Just my cousin was making fun of me severely. And I'm like, no, look at the statistics. So
traditionally, I need to be here.
Yeah, traditionally, I'm half dead. So come on. So anyway, I'm at Target shopping with my uncle and my dad, and all of a sudden they're eating this popcorn, and I'm like, "Oh my god, that smells so fucking vile. How are you eating that?" And they're like, "Ashley, this is delicious." Like they just kept eating it. I'm like, "No, get away from me." We get in the car, they'd thrown the popcorn away. I'm like, "One of you motherfuckers smells." Like I had my head hanging out the window like a dog. I was like, like it was the most disgusting smell. And they're checking their shoes and I'm like, what? Do you have bad breath? Somebody needs to shower. So we go inside and it's still happening. And I'm gagging. And my family is looking at me and they're like, we can't smell anything. And I'm like, oh, it's like this rubber burning chemical old egg smell. And it comes in wafting like every 10 seconds. And so my mom's like, Google it. I'm like, that's stupid. Like I know you're not supposed to Google your symptoms, but it was driving me nuts. So I did. And it's ding, ding. You either have a brain tumor or you're having a seizure. I'm like, holy fuck. And there was like no other explanation whatsoever. And I'm like, oh my God, I'm dying. So I called my dad's best friend who's a doctor and I explained this and he's like, yeah, that's not normal. And he's like, if anything else changes, call me back in like 45 minutes. Well, suddenly, looking back, I think I had a panic attack, but my whole body went numb. I, couldn't walk. Totally freaked out. So my parents, zoomed through the city like maniacs. They wouldn't even stop at red lights. And I was like, guys, I'm not having a heart attack. Please don't kill me in a car
but maybe
accident.
you're having an aneurysm.
Well, it was insane. So get into the ER. I got a CAT scan, all this stuff done, or CT scan. I don't know if it's the same thing. And anyway, long story short, they ended up giving me this cocktail, migraine cocktail through an IV with 3 different medications. And they said I either had like a very mild seizure that I didn't know about, or I get migraines without the pain with phantom auras. Fucking weird. I've never heard of it, but...
What kind of hippie doctor is talking to you about phantom auras? That sounds like some shit that like... Palm Reader in San Diego would say.
I know, but it's a thing. My mom was like, "Oh, actually, your grandma used to have that." I'm like, that would have been good to know before I dropped $15,000 on a fucking ER bill.
Well, let's talk about that because you've got Dutch health insurance from Amsterdam, and it was a $15,000 ER visit.
I don't know, but like I passed a kidney stone when I was living in Taiwan, and it was $4,000 for like testing my urine. So to have a CT scan and this IV and all this other shit, it's got to be at least $15,000. So I just gave him my Dutch health insurance, and I'm just hoping that they cover it. But otherwise, I'm not paying. I can't afford that. That's crazy. So
no, that's just a bill that you dip out on, and then in 7 years it gets wiped from your record anyway. Isn't that how it works?
Yeah, and I'll just be like, I can't, I'm poor. I can't, what do you want me to do? And I don't live there. Come find me. Huh. I mean, they can hunt my parents down, but, I'm 37. They don't own me.
Yeah, they're not responsible for that.
But, they were freaking out. I've thought that I was going to die twice. This is one of them. And I was literally like, Mom and Dad, this might be it. Thank you for a grand life. Like, I definitely had a panic attack on top of this migraine shit. It was just...
Well, because that's really scary.
I was so scared. I called Chris and I was like, it's been lovely knowing you. I'm out.
You're like Seacrest out.
Yeah. It was, I'm alive. And you know what? I'm not mad about having that CT scan because now I know there's nothing weird going on up there.
Right.
It kind of puts you at ease a little bit.
So they brought your scans back and they were like, this is a healthy brain.
They said you have a great brain. I was like, how great is it?
You're like, go on. Nobody ever
big. Like, is it shouting things? Yeah. Like, I'm particularly intelligent in this way. Like, continue. He's like, no, you just have a really great brain. All right. And then we went out for margaritas and Mexican food. I had to celebrate my life. So, yeah, I mean, there's always drama with family. I won't get into that, but it's like, especially when, you're older and I have a niece now and like, everyone's kind of on a different agenda, and like my mom's trying to like play chess with all of us. It's just, I'm happy to be back on my continent. I love my family, love you guys, but I'm happy to be back on my continent. How was your holiday?
It was great. 10 out of 10. Would not do again. That was just all of the sarcasm. It was like, it's great. You're gonna love it. No, girl, don't do that. Don't. So, I didn't talk about Helen Keller before.
Who's in bed with us right now, looking adorable, by the way.
We're having a 3-way girl party on my bed right now with Helen Keller. So I spent like 6 months in Turkey last year, kind of scattered around. But I was feeding stray cats from my table at a restaurant, at a very nice restaurant.
As one does in Turkey.
Yeah, as a lady does.
At a nice restaurant. Because they're stray cats. I mean, I was there. There are. It's true.
I was just there by myself, minding my own business, petting some stray cats. And the waiter comes over, and he goes, have you seen this eyeless baby kitten in the ditch over here? And he, like, points, over there.
Yeah.
And I was like, no. But when somebody says that to you, you've got to get your ass up and go look in that ditch that the man is pointing to.
You have no heart if you don't. Like, you're a cruel bitch.
Whenever I tell guys this story, they're like, so you just went to a ditch with a strange guy? And I was like, well, he was a waiter.
Well, and it wasn't like a kilometer away.
No.
It was like right there.
I could see my table from the ditch.
Yeah, dude, you're fine.
So anyway, I go and I look, and there in that ditch was like the saddest critter I've ever seen in my life, I think. Mm-hmm. And this baby kitten, she had no eyes, and she was still a brand new baby. Just kind of like, but she couldn't see shit. And she was trying to nurse off of another cat that wasn't even her mom. It was like very clearly not this cat's mom. And the cat's trying to like kick her away a little bit. Just
like my nipples alone, you know.
Stop it. I'm not your mom. Oh. And Keller was just like really insistent about trying to get after that nipple that she couldn't see. And I was like, okay, so there's a vet right across the street, like literally right across the street is a vet's office. And those guys were just hanging out in front all the time. And I'm like, are you not going to take this cat? literally 30 feet across the street to this. You're not going to know? Okay. So I snatched her up and she was easy to grab because she couldn't see for shit. She wasn't running real fast in any particular direction.
Oh, poor baby.
So I snatched her up and I take her to the vet and they're just like, oh. And I was like, yeah, I know. You gotta fix this, though. You gotta fix this cat. And so they start getting to work on her, and it turns out she does have eyes. They were just horribly infected, and the vet was grossed out. He was like making the face.
Thanks for bringing this one in.
Yeah, just like, what is this? And I was like, no, I'll pay for it. Just take care of her eyes, you know? And so the vet was right downstairs from my house, or the place that Nico and I shared out in Antalya. And so I would just go in and I would check on her every day. And then it became pretty clear that, like, all right, this is my cat. And her name is Helen Keller, but she can see now.
When you told me that, I was like, girl, only you would fucking come up with this. And I love it.
Right? So, well, also, part of the reason why I got so attached to this cat is that the vet was also, I think he really wanted me to pay that bill. And as long as I took the cat, then I was going to be on the hook for you know, making sure that he was compensated. I would have paid him anyway. But he was like, well, she's less than 3 months old. She was so tiny. She was like a little smidgen of a real fucked up baby kitten.
Did you have to like feed her out of a bottle? Or did they do that?
They did that for a little while. And then she was just big enough. She still got some like attachment issues. She tries to like nurse you in the morning.
Oh, that's
and I'm just like, and I'm like, no, Keller, we don't do this.
I want to see that. I might spend the night tonight just so I can wake up and view this.
I've been trying to break her of it for months, and she's just like, but she's never so happy as when she's really trying to just find a nipple on your arm or something. And I'm like, what are you doing?
This is like Meet the Parents, but the opposite.
No, seriously, like, she will give you a hickey. She will give you because she, like, latches on. And she's
like, how does she know that that's your nipple? Like,
it's not my nipple.
Oh.
No, I don't give her my tit.
Like, gross,
no, she does it on, like, my arm or, like, my hand or something.
Oh, I'm like, how?
No! What are you thinking?
I mean, I don't think I'm the only one here that might...
Well, thank God we cleared that up.
I'm like, that's why I want to spend the night and watch this cat attached to your teeth.
No! She's nowhere near my teeth.
Okay, good.
She just wakes me up sometimes trying to suck on my arm, and I'm like, no, Keller, we don't do that.
That's better.
Anyway, so the vet was like, because she's less than 3 months old, you can just get on a plane with her. You know? And so they gave me a little kitty passport for her, and they put some stamps in it from her vaccinations and stuff. So I booked a flight, got a cat carrier, and went to take Helen Keller home to Amsterdam from Turkey.
How'd that work out for you?
They denied me boarding. They were just like, no, where's her rabies titration test? And I'm like, the vet said I didn't need it. And they were like, oh, you most certainly do. So the Dutch website actually says that Turkey is a third world country. And apparently it's a rabies hotspot. And as a result, you need to have a rabies titration test, which cannot be done to completion until the cat is like 6 months old.
Yeah.
You have to wait until the cat's 3 months old before she can even get the shot. And then there's like a 3-month quarantine kind of situation where then they test her blood and then she officially doesn't have rabies.
Well, I even knew that with Joko, but I'm really surprised that the vet in Turkey didn't know that. You know, like, I think it's kind of their job to know that.
Well, if I were not going into the EU, it wouldn't have been an issue. And also there was another couple from the Netherlands who had apparently found their own ditch cat, but they drove her home. Now, I could have taken a 3-day road trip.
Yeah, but no.
Across Kazakhstan and shit.
Oh my God, no. I mean, that would have been only if I could have come with you.
Seriously.
We could have gotten on a motorcycle and thrown that bitch on the back.
Oh my God, just
cruise.
Like international cat smuggling.
Yeah.
There's like nothing to see here. You know what I mean? And I thought about it because it was just like, that's why I spent so much time in Turkey, because when I wasn't there, the vets would keep her.
Yeah.
They all got real attached to Miss Helen Keller. But anyway, finally, the soonest I could bring her home was December 24th. Yeah. So on December 24th, I got on a plane and I went to go get my fucking cat from Turkey.
You're such a good mom.
And I did. And I snatched her up and we flew back on Christmas Day. She was very drugged up. They gave her like, it was crazy how fast it acted. Because they were like, here, just put this in her mouth and it's like a little syringe of kitty knockout juice.
Yeah.
And within like 5 minutes, she was just
like out.
Couldn't even stand up and walk around or anything. So it was a time. It was a little bit awkward.
Oh, yeah? Why is that?
Oh, the other reason why my holidays are great, huh?
Yeah. You want to get into it?
There's a little bit of a breakup.
How single are you right now?
Just like very. You best believe I have been staying in touch with my internet therapist lately. BetterHelp.com/workationing will get you a free week of internet therapy to check out for yourself.
I can't speak highly enough about it. I meet mine every 2 weeks. I'm obsessed. I do mine over Skype, though, but I don't.
Oh, I don't do that at all. I just type to mine.
Yeah, no, I need Skype. I don't know how I would be, like, in one piece right now without it. So, everybody needs somebody.
And you can have somebody.
Yes.
For, like, less than the cost of an in-person therapist.
Oh, definitely.
Way less.
Yeah.
If you don't have insurance or if you're traveling a lot, online therapy is just, like, a fantastic way to stay grounded and as sane as possible.
Yeah, and somebody to just, like, help you navigate some of this hard stuff. Like, am I being unreasonable with feeling this way? Or, you know, just an outside perspective that's unbiased, somebody that's not your friend or family that just is literally there to assess the situation is really nice, I think.
Oh, I find it to be incredibly helpful. So again, that's BetterHelp.com/workationing to get a week of free internet therapy.
Do it.
You
won't regret it.
Yeah, try it. You got nothing to lose. But anyway, yeah, so it's been like a month. It is January 10th right now. We broke up December 10th.
Oh, so like...
It's been a month.
To the day.
Yeah. Move it right along, but shit has been real.
It's been very real. You knew what you needed to do, and a lot of times that's hard for both ladies and men to pull themselves out of something that isn't necessarily terrible, but isn't right for you in that moment. And you're doing it. You're doing everything that you need to be doing, even though it's hard. And I'm proud of you.
Thank you. This kind of all flows into like the universe, and when you take steps in your own best interest and are focused on goals and making things happen, you can kind of like manifest some cool shit. It's not without pain.
No.
Do you know what I mean? Like, it is not without pain. I closed a ton of new business over the last month, but I've been busting my ass for like the last 6 months.
Yeah.
To make some of these projects happen. And it's just like the culmination of the investment that you put in. It's not unlike financial investments, and that like interest compounds and pays dividends over time.
You're in total control of what you put out, and things will come in. You know, side note, like I'm on a job search, a new career kind of thing right now. And I'm putting out so much effort and contacting and networking and things, and it's starting to come back in my favor. And sometimes it's hard to just put your head down and be like, this is what I'm going to do today. Like, these are my objectives. This is what I need to do. But when you get in that zone and you do it, you reap the benefits. Sometimes it takes a while.
It does. I was going to say, it's not always, in fact, very rarely is it ever immediate.
No, it takes months, sometimes years. I mean, it depends on what you're trying to obtain, but it's just so important to not get lost in thinking about it, but actually doing something about it. That's where people get lost a lot, I think.
It's a good time to talk about this because it was just New Year's.
It sure
and
was.
So thinking about New Year, New You, New Decade, we kicked it off at the club.
We did. It was sexy. It was a masquerade theme, and we all had these sexy masks on, and
we really did it up. So I belong to this private club for creatives in Amsterdam called Adam & Co. And I think it's like the tallest building in town.
Yeah.
Right? And it's like at the top. And it's got it's a circular, the whole place is circular, but then it's got a balcony outside that kind of squares it off. And the club was having a glitter masquerade ball. That was the theme.
And it was super cool and very swank. But I will say, we were part of the small majority that had masks on.
How the fuck do you show up to a glitter masquerade ball and not have a mask on?
I don't know. Felt very special and also judgy.
Yeah, like we're all here for a reason. I see that that one lady was wearing a sequin pantsuit, and I was just like, yes, you glitter queen.
How did I not see that?
She wasn't wearing a mask, but she was wearing a glitter sequin pantsuit. And it had a deep low V in the front, and I was just like, you know what? I'm not even mad at you for not having a mask.
Well, yeah,
because you showed up.
Pass.
You showed up on the rest of it, sister.
Oh man, I didn't see that.
But we went all over town looking for masks to find, like, good ones.
Yeah, thanks for hooking me up.
We did, yeah. I ended up stumbling into this mask store that I got one that gave me, like, Donnie Darko vibes. It was
hot. It like had bunny ears.
Yeah, it like went all the way up my forehead, and then it had bunny ears on the top of it.
It was very you. Very you. Very Kari.
And I got to wear my sequin dress.
Yeah, you looked smoking hot. I got to wear a sequin dress that I've had for 5 years because the one that I bought I couldn't wear because I had a little bike accident and ripped my knee open, so I looked like a 10-year-old with a scabby knee. And I had to wear black tights, so no one could see that shit.
Biking in Amsterdam is no joke. And sometimes I know multiple people who have knocked out their front teeth. I know multiple women even, not even just men. Like, ladies of a certain age who should not be falling over their handlebars and knocking their teeth out, but it just, like, it's a dangerous world out there, and sometimes that shit happens.
Yeah, I mean, Sierra came over for dinner last night, or on Tuesday, and we were talking about this, and she was like, I've gotten my wheel stuck in the tram tracks before. Oh, yeah. And I'm like, I'm so cautionary about that. But I don't know a single person here that has not had a bike accident. Remember that Italian dude? He was out for like a year and a half with a broken leg and had like 15,000 surgeries to fix his leg. And we're not saying if you come to Amsterdam, don't bike, but take a bike tour and they'll make sure you're okay. But it's dangerous.
But when you live here, you have to bike.
Yeah. Come like
snow, sleet, rain.
I never do it in the snow. Hell no. Tonight I walked my ass here. Because it was raining, and I don't want to bike home later at night in the rain again. I've already torn my shit up. I'm not doing it again.
No, and like driving while drunk, and that you never want to do it. Biking while drunk is like not any better.
I mean, that might be how I ended up with a broken knee.
Right?
Not gonna lie.
No, that's how the one lady knocked out her teeth. The other one was sober. I was just like, oh, you didn't even have a good night first?
Oh, God.
Could you imagine?
No, that's so terrible.
The one lady I know who knocked out her front teeth, though, so she flipped over the handlebars, curb stomped.
Oh, God.
With her teeth.
Oh, stop. That just hurts right now.
No, but seriously, she just spit her teeth into her hand.
Stop.
No, so she spits her teeth into her hand, and then she bikes to the fucking ER with her teeth in her hand.
Dude, I don't know if you're weird or a champion.
No, that is like the most hardcore story.
That's like very Dutch.
Ever. Just like, bike.
Yeah, like, hold on. I'll be right there with my teeth in hand. Okay, that's weird.
One-handed biking? Could you imagine what that looked like?
Yeah, with blood, like, dripping out of your mouth? No. Like, I mean, what else are you going to do? I don't know.
I don't know what you do.
I mean, I'd probably do the same thing.
Really? You would get back on your bike with your teeth in your hand?
I don't know. I don't want to ever figure that out. I don't want to find out what I would do. I've had my one bad bike accident. I'm really grateful that my head didn't split open. But yeah, anyway, back to the club. I will say we had so much fun, but part of the reason we went there is because it has the greatest view of the city. And I don't know if y'all know, but Amsterdam goes bananas with fireworks. It's only legal for like 4 days or something around New Year's Eve. And it's like a war zone out there. So normally we were going to get like this spectacular view of the whole city blowing up, but we were standing in a cloud. We could hear it.
Nobody could see anything. There was not one firework that was seen that day by anyone in Amsterdam because it was just so foggy, cloudy, and we were like, "Is it going to lift?" No, it was like a pea soup fog. But people were still trying to light that shit off anyway.
No, but I leaned over the balcony, and there was one that was like coming straight up from underneath us, and that's the only one I saw. I saw some in my neighborhood because they started going off at 10 a.m. And it's ridiculous. Thank God my dog is like super chill about that shit. But yeah, it was a war zone all day. So I saw some, but I mean, it was still fun. But I was like selling it to Chris, like, you're not going to believe the view we're going to have. And this is so cool. And then we were in a cloud.
It is like the best view in the city.
Yeah. And we like did a live thing from there once in our Facebook group.
Oh yeah. If you go to facebook.com/groups/workationing, you can look up a video from the club. Yeah. Where Ashley and I were just like, hey.
What's up?
Coming at you. And the weather was beautiful that day, too.
Yeah. Amsterdam, beautiful.
Oh, so apparently in the Netherlands, a bunch of conservative people got elected. And so the laws have been changing. And that's why we got such a hardcore frisk before going into the club.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because it didn't used to be like that. But they didn't strip search us. But they went through all of the pockets in my wallet, and when they found my emergency Xanax...
Yeah, that was so weird.
They were like, what are these? And I was like, well, that's my emergency Xanax that I keep in... Because, like, you never know when a panic attack's going to hit, but, like...
No.
Trust if one does, I need to have that in my wallet.
Well, and I thought it was weird, because they thought it was drugs. And I'm like, okay, what street drug do you know comes in the foil-backed plastic...
The blister
thing.
pack.
Yeah.
Yeah. No dealers hitting you up with like some MDMA and a foil wrap situation.
No, not at all. I mean, not that I would know, but yeah. Pretty sure that's not happening. And we had to stand there for a good 5 minutes and like explain. And then somebody came over, right? And was like, no, that's true.
Yeah, because they were like, well, where's your prescription? And I'm like, these are the 2 Lucy's I keep in my wallet for emergencies.
Like you walk around with your prescription pad, like, here it is.
No, and so I didn't have that. But then she really wanted to talk to me about how I shouldn't drink on Xanax.
Oh,
and I was like,
I forgot about that.
Lady, I don't need this after-school lecture from you.
Just let me go into the club that I paid to belong to and have a cocktail.
Yeah, these are the same 2 emergency Xanax that I've had in my wallet for the last 3 months, but, like, best believe I'm going to have those.
I have them on me, too. I wish I had one in the hospital or, before I went to the ER, but whatever.
The next time you start smelling toast, just pop a Xanny and you'll be fine.
Dude, no, I got Benadryl. I got the whole cocktail ready to go, but I'll let you know. I'll be like, Kari, I'm smelling the burnt rubber.
I'll just be like, here, I still got this emergency, because they did let me into the club with it, so I still have those 2 pills.
Oh, good. I'm glad they didn't confiscate it.
I mean, I would have gotten more at home. It was just kind of an annoying thing. But the reason why they're being so hardcore about it is because a more conservative government has started to enact some new laws.
I knew they were elected, but I didn't know that was taking place. That's interesting.
Yeah.
Well, good. So 2020 is here. I feel like I'm going to own this fucking year. It's going to be my bitch.
I am too. I, made some changes that I needed to in 2019 and closing out the year. I feel like I set myself up so that 2020 could be whatever I want to make of it. Yep. And so now it's more about like focusing on the goals. And I know that we talked about how it's like, is it a decade? It's not quite really a decade. But the idea of how far have you come in the last 10 years? Huh. Girl, I got divorced.
Me too.
I started a business.
Mm-hmm.
I bought out my business partner. I got a passport. I didn't even have a passport until I was like 30 years old.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know that.
I'd gone to Canada, but you didn't.
Well, that doesn't count.
Need to have a passport to go to Canada back when I did it.
Yeah.
But post 9/11, they really wanted you to have that paperwork,
though. Oh, yeah.
But yeah, got a passport. I have about filled my passport up. I'm sweating the visa for India.
I know. I'm the opposite. I'm like, give it to me, because I have a 50-pager and it's almost full. And I have to change it when I'm 40. So I want that bitch to be full when it's done.
So when you go to India, we're going to be going to India for Holi, which is this beautiful festival. Holi. Pop a Google image search on that, because it's just people throwing color powder at each other. And it's like a big happy festival that it like signifies the healing of relationships.
Yeah. It's been I've been to quite a few festivals throughout the world, and this has been on my bucket list for a very long time. So I feel so grateful that we're getting to do this. I'm so excited.
We're going to have a really sick crew with us too.
Yeah.
Because we're not just... First of all, the No Name Guest House in Goa, India is kind enough to put us up.
Yeah, it's going to be so amazing. I mean, I'm so pumped. Like, the pictures, everything looks so great. And it's a digital nomad house.
Yeah. So the Wi-Fi is going to be blazing. It comes with vegan breakfast. I am here for all of it. But the proprietor of the No Name Guest House in Goa invited your girls from workationing.
And we're going
to come peep the scene. But we're not just going by ourselves. We got some friends coming with us.
Yeah. And if you want to come with us, you're welcome.
So we will be in Goa, India at the No Name Guest House from Sunday, March 1st, all the way through the 19th.
Yep. And the festival, I believe, is like the 7th to the 9th.
No, it's the 9th and 10th.
9th and 10th. Okay.
It's the 9th and 10th. So if you want to make your bucket list and Insta just on fire, Insta on fire. So good with this festival. But we're coming, and Hannah Dixon, the VA or the Digital Nomad Toolkit.
Oh,
She's
awesome. I didn't know this.
Oh, yeah, Hannah's coming.
Oh, we got to talk, girl.
Chris Tran is coming, I think.
Oh, my God.
No, like, we got some all-star lady digital nomads. They're just kind of with a heavy lesbian influence. And
this is going to be fun.
I'm so into it.
I'm so into this.
Oh, my God. And then my friend Antigone's coming.
Yeah, you told me that. I didn't know about the other two. Oh, this is going to be great.
And Tina's coming, our friend Tina. And is Alex coming, too?
I don't know. We'll have to find out. But, guys, I've been to Goa. I've been all through India before. It is a magical country. It will change your life. I know some people have said to me before, I don't want to see that kind of poverty. In Goa especially, you're not going to see it like that. If you go in with an open mind and you realize so quickly that these people have nothing, but you've never seen happier people in your life that will give you anything that they have happily. They're joyous. It's my favorite country in the world. So I fully support nothing scary. If you guys are thinking about coming, you have any questions, hit us up. Well, I'll help answer whatever I can. And it's so cheap. It's so cheap. Like when I was there, I had a budget in travel, stay, food, everything for $1,000 a month. And I didn't even spend $800. And I did everything I wanted to. So it's definitely affordable and fun.
I can't wait. Although I am we'll have to dig into that poverty side of things because that and the ladies who keep getting raped to death on buses in India.
Yeah, we can go into that more, but that's happens, but it's in very specific places. And I will say as Westerners, and especially where we're going, there's a lot of other Westerners around and they tend to be kind of scared of us. Especially, I'm tall, so I'm taller than most of them. I'm not a tiny person. Like, I'll be with you, you're tiny, but, like, I'll be your bodyguard. And they just, they bark, but they don't bite, They'll kind of come up close, and they'll be very inquisitive and, look at you funny, man. I told you they'll want to touch your blonde hair. But if you just get really aggressive back and no, get the fuck away, then they'll run oh God. So we don't have anything to worry about. And you'll see when you get there that's true.
We can save the malaria and whatnot conversations for when we're in Goa, but that's coming. Thinking ahead to 2020 for the podcast, I'm really excited. We've picked up a couple sponsors.
Yes.
We didn't even have to pitch those sponsors. Those sponsors came to us.
I know. And because one of them I love so much, and you're going to now, too, that you have Keller.
I know. Yeah. I want to keep going with the podcast, telling interesting stories. We'll pop some guest hosts. I really loved the idea that you came with about going to the red light district and interviewing sex workers.
Yeah. We got to do that. We'll do that in a week and a half.
Okay.
Yeah.
We're going to line that up because I think that you hear that a lot of the people are in sex slavery. Even though it seems very free. I'm very curious to hear from the ladies' perspectives.
Me too.
What is that like? We talked about this. There's no male prostitutes in the windows.
No, and my friend Petra, who's from here, I asked her, and she said there's more of a gigolo scene, but there aren't. She's like, you can find them, but they tend to be more in the gay scene. And,
yeah.
I mean, scientifically, it kind of makes sense. But she's like, there's a gigolo scene here for sure. So if that's your jam,
really,
you can find it. Yeah. Don't get any ideas.
No, because that Kelly and I met with, he was a star. One of the stars of the show, Gigolos, which is about male prostitutes in Las Vegas. It's a reality show. Have you seen this?
No.
Oh my God, Vin Armani. We hung out with him when we were in Vegas. He bought us drinks. He touched my arm. He was he smelled good and was charming. I was just like, well, you look just like you did on TV.
But I'd seen that even better.
I'd seen that guy have sex before.
Oh, that's weird. Okay.
Right? Well, it's not it's not like porn, but it's like HBO porn. Or I think it was on Showtime. And I was just like, all right, I've seen, okay, it was a thing. But male prostitutes, I'm fascinated. Sex work in general, I find very interesting.
Well, I really want to hear it from the ladies' perspective, and then we can see what they kind of say, and maybe we need to finagle our way into the gigolo scene. But I just think it will be, and here it is. We call them sex workers because they are. They're not necessarily prostitutes or whores or anything like that. I do think there are some that are sex slaved and things like that. But I know for sure that there are some there on their own dime and they want to be there. That's their choice.
Right.
And so I think it will be, we got to go do our field research and I think try and find some that are and some that maybe aren't, but I think it's going to be impossible to find those that aren't because they have like pimps and shit like looking over them, and they're not going to be able to trail away with us. I don't know. It's going to be interesting. We definitely have to do our field research. So it might take us a while to get that episode, but trust we're doing the work.
And, well, now we're talking about, like, resolutions, and obviously the podcast is going to keep going, and we got some cool places to travel to. But in terms of, like, personal resolutions, have you outlined that at all?
I have. It's something I've been thinking about for a long time because since just before the new year specifically, and now because my last 2018 and 2019 were such disasters. I got married, I got divorced, I moved countries, I changed jobs, bad shit. Everything went from 10 to 0. And I had to start over with everything. And it was just too consuming at that point to like make any sort of, my only resolution was to survive and like not come out all hangled and alcoholic and like just a disaster. So this is the first year in a while where I feel like I'm in a place where I can actually make some conscious decisions. And one of them is to get my career in check. Being a digital nomad, you know, you own your own company, which is awesome. It's so badass. I love that you do that. I am not in a place where I want to do that right now.
It's hard.
Yeah.
It's hard.
It is hard. And we have different skill sets too, you know?
Yeah.
So it's, for me, I've thought about it. I'm not saying I couldn't do it, but I don't want to do it right now. And whatever, long story. But I have made some interesting decisions in the past, and I need to really get that shit under control. And again, being a digital nomad, if I were living in New York City, for instance, my options would be a little bit more open, but they're not. And
working in HR. Because you do recruitment.
I'm in recruitment,
yeah.
not HR. They're different. But yeah, I'm a tech recruiter. So luckily in my field, they do exist. These jobs do. But you really, kind of what we were talking about at the beginning, you got to do the work. You got to put it out there. And I found some amazing companies that I'm chasing that I'm getting interviews with and I really want to be a part of. So I really just want to wrap that up and make like a good decision about my career and not just like the first thing that comes my way, but like somewhere I can really invest in because I'm 37, you know, like I want to be smart. I want to do something that means something to me and like I feel like I'm moving forward. So that's one. What's yours?
Kind of the same, although different. So the way I wrote it down is step into the role I was meant to play and have been building up to for years.
I love that.
And what does that mean? I feel like anybody could have that resolution. But so I turned 37 in April. Mm-hmm. And I've had a very laser-focused career.
Yeah.
For the last 15 years. I've had the Content Factory. I started that in 2020. It'll be our 10th anniversary. I will have had the Content Factory. My
Dude,
brain baby.
Badass.
For 10 years.
We're going to celebrate that too.
No,
I don't know what we're going to do, but we're going out.
I have no idea, but I really want to make it special because it is like most small businesses don't make it that long.
No.
I was like killing it, right? It's like, look at me go in my yoga pants, top knot, no makeup.
And
Fuck
your
that,
your leopard scrunchie that I love.
I am wearing a leopard scrunchie right now. Scrunchies are back.
I was wearing one last night.
Like, well, why not go for the leopard print? But so getting back into like stepping into the role I was meant to play. I've been featured in lots of media outlets. In 2019, I was named the number 2 woman in my industry. Coming for number 1, though.
So proud of you. You're going to get that.
I'm going to get it next year.
I am not worried about that.
2020 is going to be my year. But in terms of like the content that I produce and the like level of me putting myself in air quotes out there, I could do more and I should be doing more. And I've been feeling that way for years, but there's always a reason or an excuse. Like I don't have time to go speak at this conference because that's going to be travel on either side. And like, how much are they going to pay me for that anyway? And is it worth it? Yes, girl. Go do that speaking engagement. It's going to be a pain in the ass, but other people do it and are fine. So why don't you go do that too? And using the experience that I have and the knowledge that I have and the ideas that I have and talking about how to put all things together in a way that makes the most positive social impact on an individual scale, but also on a more macro scale. I've got all these ideas. I have things to say. I can write it in another blog post and SEO the shit out of it, you know, so that people find it. But that's not the same thing as, like, if you go on YouTube and look for YouTube video content for me, it's way thin.
Yeah.
Millions of people have read my blog content, but not all people read that.
Yeah.
And it's going to be better for myself long term and also for the company long term for me to do that. Another goal that I have in 2020, I'm going to write a book.
Yeah, girl.
I've had an interesting life so far.
You sure have.
And I started the Content Factory in 2010 with $500. It's now a 7-figure agency. I just grew that from scratch with no outside investment, and it's replicable. I'd like to talk about how I did it so that other people might be inspired to kind of do something similar, because so many people don't even start because they don't think that XYZ could be possible. And so when you show them that XYZ can be possible, you just need to do 1, 2, 3 to get there.
Yeah.
Then it kind of creates like a roadmap for others to follow. And I've done that in my career, but I think like, again, taking it from a, I guess, mile high perspective, engineering the life that you want for yourself and strategically doing so in a way that gives you the most freedom and happiness, whatever, that means something different to everyone else. Mm-hmm. But for me, it was like, I'm not going to spend 2 hours a day commuting to and from an office for what?
No.
And then you tap on like the time it takes to get ready. Like it's like all unpaid labor. But then when you remove yourself from that, you can also give yourself the freedom to travel wherever you want. And that's something that it took me like a solid 5 to 7 years.
Yeah.
To actually fully get my shit to the point where I can travel while working. I can do anything.
Yeah.
Anything I want. But it took a long time to set that up. The path could be faster.
Well, I think you've done an incredible job. And, you know, that's not for everybody. I know so many people that love going in an office all day. And, like, they love their commute because they listen to our podcast or audiobooks. But that's not the life that you and I have chosen. And I think it's so important, like you're saying, is to show people that is a possibility, because we are really on the like our generation was really the first to start doing this.
Yeah.
And so we have to say, this is how we did it. So you started your own company. I started doing it from a completely different perspective, but we're both in essence doing the same thing. And I think especially with what you've been through and the knowledge that you had, you have to share that. Like, I don't want to say it's your duty, but like you'd be an asshole if you didn't, because you've made it. And why wouldn't you want some young Kari or Ashley in their 20s saying, I don't want to go to work every, like whatever. Yeah. Teach that bitch how to do it, that lovely lady.
Sister,
sorry.
You don't need to.
Yeah.
Is the thing. But also, so my mom died when she was 42. And when she left, it left me with a huge sense of the cost. Like what it actually looks like when you don't live up to your potential and you don't capture what you could.
Yeah.
And there were so many aspects of my mom's life that they were less than ideal, and she fucking sat in them, and she felt like she didn't have any exit doors, and she didn't know how she was going to get out. But like Dorothy with the ruby slippers, you had the power the whole time. And so me living my life in the way that I do is largely an homage to my mother who couldn't. And in previous generations, just like you were saying, like my mom didn't have this option.
No.
She was a crafty lady. And if she even knew that it could have been a possibility, she was smart and she could have made it happen. It just like wasn't there for her. But it's there for us. The
internet didn't even exist then.
No.
So it wasn't possible.
No, but it is now. And I think for future generations, I fully believe that the future of work is remote.
Oh, I mean, my current job is, I'm screaming that from the mountaintops. I mean, that's exactly it.
To like anyone who will listen, unless you're like on an assembly line where you need to, and the robots are coming for those jobs, guys.
Well, the interesting part is, and I don't want to get into this too far, but when I was at that conference in Utah, it was talking about the Gen Z and Alpha. They actually don't want to be remote because so much of their life is on devices that they really miss human contact. So they actually want to be in offices and seeing people on the day-to-day. And so it's really interesting. But to your point, what I think is going to happen is co-working spaces are going to blow up. And so remote jobs will be more of a thing, but people will come together in spaces to have that human connection. Mm-hmm. And so it won't be like, oh, I'm going into my office of my company where only my colleagues are. It's going to be like, this is my job, but this is where I work.
Right.
And you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
I think that's going to be what happens. And I think we're going to see a huge shift in real estate in big cities. These companies aren't going to need 4 floors of one building in New York. Because they're people, it's going to cost them less to keep the lights on and everything. It's going to get weird. It's going to get interesting. But I'm excited about it. And I'm just so glad that people that want this opportunity to have the freedom that we do, it is possible and you can do it. And it is the future, like you're saying.
And if you want to go to an office, it's still available.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, that's what I'm saying. But luckily, you have your choice.
Yeah.
So, well, do you have anything else on your list? I mean, I have personal, like, I'll just say it really quick, but I want to write more. I used to be a big writer. I've written a book, it's like a coming of age story and all the weird shit that happened in Asia. I haven't finished it because I don't feel like my story's over, but I'll touch that maybe in my 40s. And I want to read one book every 2 months. And I want to do more classes, like a cooking class or another writing class, something that just like makes me a little smarter.
Oh, you know what I need to do? I still need to sign up for trustedhousesitters.com.
Oh my gosh. Especially with Keller, I said, you absolutely have to do that now. They're the best. I just had my 3rd sitter. She was amazing. She sent me like 1 million photos and updates about Joko, and she made best friends with my neighbor. It was a lady in her, I think, early 60s from England, and she made best friends with my neighbor. They went to the bars, the restaurants. They like had a heyday.
Well, because otherwise I would have to put Keller in a kennel, and that gets really expensive super fast. I want her to be able to run around at home. So Trusted House Sitters reached out to us, and they're Workationing's new sponsor.
And thank God. And it makes so much sense. All of you out there with fur babies that want to travel, this is such an excellent situation where somebody can come and stay in your home and watch after your little pet while you're off doing whatever it is that you do.
Alternately, you could be that pet sitter.
Yeah, totally.
You could be that house sitter. So if you're looking for a way to travel on the cheap, accommodations are the biggest. That's the biggest expense.
And Kari and I have really pimp apartments in Amsterdam, so we travel a ton. So get registered on Trusted House Sitters, look us up, and be like, yo.
Yeah, you can stay in my place with the round wall and the biggest bathroom you've ever seen.
Yeah.
It's got heated floors. You could walk barefoot on my heated floors while taking care of
Well, I have heated floors too, but yeah, she has a bidet, and I'm sorry.
I do have a bidet.
That's the best thing in the world.
It's weird when friends come over and use it, though.
I mean, I haven't yet, but I might pull that cherry.
That cherry today. No. Rob was just like, so I'm going to go use your bidet.
No!
Yes!
It's not for men. It's not ball sack washing.
No, well, I guess he really...
He needed a cleanse. All right.
Yeah. No,
we talk about their balls way too much.
We're not going to talk about... Our friend Ram is here.
Yeah.
And he's here because I've got some furniture building that needs to be done.
Several things, but let me just say I walked into 5 boxes that are the size of like teenagers filled with beans for this giant bean bag. This is not going to be pretty. And Kari's like, oh, let's like try and fill one before Ram gets here. I was like, absolutely not. This shit's going to go everywhere. We need more hands-on, the better. Like, this is going to get ugly. You're going to be finding these little beans in your shit for years.
I thought that when you ordered one of those bomb-ass, like it's a classy beanbag chair. If such a thing exists, it'll fit multiple people on it. And you look at it online, and you've seen them in the stores, and they don't tell you that there's assembly required.
Yeah.
I thought it was just going to show up and I'd put it in the corner it's meant to go in.
Well, yeah, the makeout corner.
Yeah. No, I'm going to have a makeout corner in my place.
I was like, what, are we in junior high? Like, we have to hide from our parents?
Maybe. No, you know how there are parties sometimes and then people want to,
Well, I told you.
Sketchy makeout.
I've seen some weird shit that I didn't want to see. So, yeah, I actually am a fan of your makeout corner. Let's do it. Let's get weird with it. We're having your housewarming party tomorrow. So let's see what happens.
We've got a lot to do before then.
Yeah, we do.
All right. So I hear you're good with IKEA furniture.
Dude, I'm pretty pimp.
Good.
Well, I did my first bed from IKEA that I put together. I got so frustrated. I duct taped the whole thing together. I was like, fuck this. The whole thing was duct taped. And then like they came to pick it up to like just take it away because I was like, get rid of it. And they were like going to give it to somebody. And they're like, this is duct taped. I'm like, I've had a lot of sex on this thing and it didn't bust. So duct tape works. There you go. You're welcome for a free bed. So if shit gets weird, we'll just get some duct tape. We got this. I'm in. I'm ready.
All right, well,
flex.
Let's do it. I think we did it.
We did. Happy New Year. I love you.
I love you too. 2020 is going to be the best ever.
Own it, everyone. Make it your bitch. We're doing it. We're here for support.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Pop over into the Facebook group. Tell us about your resolutions.
Yes. Yeah. I want to hear about that. We'll put them on. We'll talk about them next time. And side note, Kari and I are headed off to Brussels pretty soon for a wild weekend of beer tasting and drag shows. So we're going to come in hot with you.
I know.
After that.
I hear great things about Belgian beer. I don't drink Belgian beer because one of my other resolutions is to not be a fatty McSnack pack. Quite so much.
Well, yeah, neither. We're going to make it an exception for our friend Steve.
Oh, yeah, because it's Steve's 40th birthday, and so we're doing it up.
Yeah.
That drug show.
I've never been to Brussels, so we'll have a lot of fun, and we'll come back and tell you guys if it's worth checking out or not.
I hear it is.
I hear so.
All right.
Bye. Bye, guys.
Man, Kari, this place looks like a mess. It's like worse than the earthquake in Puerto Rico. You think it's going to be like ready for tomorrow?
Oh my God. Okay, first of all, the housewarming doesn't start until 8 p.m. tomorrow. Second of all, this is why you two are here.
Yeah, well, let's turn some fucking music on and get this bitch going because it looks like shit.
You're going to need a miracle.
Pray. Thoughts and prayers.
Thoughts and prayers.
Go to the church by the red light district.